So beautiful people. So I normally, kind of chat with some people, over tea in the mornings at a particular place. And I don't know, how they always say, the first thing must not be that you get up and you take up your phone and, all right, I breached that. I took up my phone and I went on TikTok. All right. I mean, I did say a little prayer thing in my head and whatnot. Forgive me, I'm only human and I'm not making an excuse. I'm just letting you know the truth. So, but I'm kind of glad that I went on it because I scrolled. I came. What is his name? Prince Lando, something like that. If you find him, follow him. Quite eloquent in how he speaks. Sort of a man after my own heart. I like that. But it's not just about how he speaks. Just speaking eloquently or refined, but the content is his critical thinking skills, which I appreciate. I'm very big on that, growing into it. I'm not necessarily a guru on that, but trying to. And I said, I like this. It is not toxic. People are listening to the other without interrupting them. And let me tell you, notwithstanding, I used to be that kind of person where I would interrupt because of the passion, not to be disrespectful, but sometimes it's like the words, the information forcing itself, like when somebody wants to throw up and can't hold it, or they're having a diarrheal attack. And I'm learning. So don't feel daunted. It's something that I too am working on. My listening skills. And I said, I like this program. All right, I'm going to run late this morning. So they were talking about cheating, Basically, I'm just paraphrasing. Is it good or bad? Can you give some sort of leeway for it? And, it kind of went around that. It surrounded that. And I remember a particular woman. I started comment when I heard somebody saying, everyone cheats. Now, when you speak in the absolute and matters, I'm one of those debaters on it. Because I like when we dissect things. I don't really like to speak things in the absolute, because the only absolute is that Jesus Christ is Lord. I mean, death is sure, these little things. Even though you may not necessarily, even if you're caught up, the physical body will still die, and so on. So, and the person began explaining, but when they were giving the example in my decoding of the communication, emitted from the young lady, sound fairly intelligent to me still. It sounded as though she was saying, and I could be wrong, but I expressed it to them that almost if a man, let's just use a man, sees a woman and says, what a beautiful woman, she looks beautiful, her eyes are beautiful, her nose, whatever, that he has cheated on his wife, for example. And when the example went on, I said, I kind of interjected and said, in the chat, that we have to be careful that we don't almost have like an amalgamation, like a metamorphosis of putting cheating with the attraction theory, because it is inbuilt in us, the attraction feeling. You have to be attracted to somebody for you to do things, for you to get things going, for relationships to start, whether it's platonic or it is romantic. There has to be that attraction, because if you're going to create that metamorphosis to make cheating and attraction be one, it therefore means even good relationships, a husband and a wife, they're cheating on each other, if you get what I'm saying, just by being married. All right, I hope that didn't fly over your head. If it did, forgive me. So I said we have to be careful in saying that everyone cheats. I think they were using the scripture that, where Jesus said, if I tell you, if you even think on it, when he said think, it doesn't mean that if the enemy tempts you, it doesn't mean if you see a woman and you say, what a beautiful woman, you're being attracted to a woman, doesn't mean that you're cheating. Even if you feel that butterfly feeling, if you come across a particular person and you're married and you say, when I'm around this person, I feel, this strong attraction, it doesn't mean that you're cheating. It doesn't mean that you're lusting. It's not as though you're saying, wow, I can just imagine as a female, his penis, it is so big. His chest is so buff. Oh, God, look at that masculine. No. Even if the enemy is tempting you, it's just a matter of the enemy putting something in your way as an obstacle. You have to just be careful that you don't trip your feet over that obstacle. That is not cheating. So I would not necessarily say that everyone cheats, and I'm speaking as it relates to the sexual perspective of cheating, whether it is psychological, emotional, or the actual physical. All right. When they asked about if everyone has lost it, perhaps everyone has lost it. I made a joke to say, well, if they're in a single stage, who would they be cheating on? Well, unless it's God himself, you know what I mean? But not everyone really cheats. I prefaced the argument to say that, yes, we were all born in sin. We were all shaped in iniquity. And I do understand that we're flawed. You know, maybe the young lady thought that I was just making excuses for people who act as if they're self-righteous and perfectionists and whatnot. No, you just do have people who, in a sexual sense, whether it is emotional, psychological, or the physical, who have really never cheated. And lusting will lead to that in terms of the mental aspect of the cheating and so on. But I was saying, what if they're single? Are you going to say that they're actually, who are they cheating on? You understand what I'm saying? And the point that I'm making in this video is that be careful of how we speak in the absolute. And the reason why I say that, there are people of the belief that every single male, or most females, if not all, are cheaters. Like cheat on their partners, cheat on their spouses, and that is a fallacy. It is a malevolent fallacy that the enemy has conjured up and placed into the minds of people who it has, affected in some way or another. That is not true. There's some people who, for lack of a better term, who are blameless in that sense of the word. Whether you want to look at it from a psychological perspective or an emotional perspective or a physical perspective. Because what is happening one man came on and he said he doesn't care if his girlfriend, wife, well, he's not, I don't know if he's married, cheats on him as long as they don't do it in his face and disrespects him. He was quite vociferous and fervent on that, and gave an example that when he had a woman had called him, she had her fiance, I don't know if she was a real estate person, let's just say she was, and she said to him, when you come, my fiance is going to be here, just say you want to see apartment 4B. When he came, he said that the woman and he had gone into that apartment, had sexual intercourse, she fixed up herself, came back down to her fiance. Wow. One woman, let me make another story, because so this thing only gives you up to 10 minutes. One woman says, back in the day, she would say cheating is horrible, but not now. She had somebody, a male, obviously, well, not necessarily obviously, but a male, sexual partner relationship, and he was not pleasing her sexually. She tried everything to help him, didn't improve. He became abusive. I don't know if his ego was bruised. I don't know if it's how she tried. I don't know. She said some of the things she won't get into. She tried. Then he became verbally abusive, psychologically abusive. And it pushed her, and she said she cheated on the relationship. And she said if she had the opportunity to cheat again, she would. I said, I just made a comment in the chat, I won't judge. However, I said, notwithstanding, why not leave? Sometimes it's easier said than done. She said she's not giving us all the variables, all the information as to why she would have that kind of a mindset. And I said to myself, we live in a very quantum world where whatever floats your boat, I'm so sorry that I segue into this. But even with those two examples and her belief, that if she had the opportunity, she will do it again. Maybe not with everyone, I don't know. And the gentleman saying it, as long as it is not in his face, he's okay, whether it's emotional, psychological, or the literal. Not everyone cheats. Not everyone cheats. And I'm saying that because I don't want people to run with a false fallacy and end up using the fact that was fried on somebody else and putting it in your current relationship. One of the good things that I will encourage you to do is to work on your communication skills with each other. That is actually probably the number one destroyer in relationship, destructive force. You are not decoding what I am exuding. We are not trusting each other, so we're not sharing information. We're not listening to understand. We're listening to respond. We're listening to argue, to be combative. You have to decode what I'm saying, what I'm displaying, my non-verbal and verbal information. Work on your communication so that you can mitigate or eradicate cheating, whether it's psychological, emotional, or physical. And ensure that the two that come together, that you're agreeing. Think on that deeply. Think on that deeply. Guys, follow me on TikTok. subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this message.